Alrighty, so we've cracked open the latest book for 5th edition 2024 with Heroes of Faerun, and today we are looking at the new general feats that our characters can choose from.
This is where things start to get exciting. Unlike origin feats, these are your level 4 and 8 picks or beyond, the ones that compete directly with ability score increases.
Now, one of the things that Kelly and I like to emphasize is that feats are scarce. Over the course of your character's career, your character is going to get 4 opportunities to take a general feat unless you're like a fighter or a rogue. And so these can have a huge impact on how your character plays. So one of the big questions we always ask with general feats is, are you taking this one at level 4?
I think that the best ones are the ones that you want to grab right away that are like going to define your build, and good ones are ones that you might look at later. We're, of course, looking at synergy, impact, frequency, and value. Synergy is how well it fits into your class. Impact is how much it changes your turn. Frequency is how often it comes up. And value, that's whether we take it over a +2 ability score bump or another feat that we would take before this one.
Yeah, like value also factors into not only are you spending the feat slot, but sometimes feats ask you to take other feats. And some of them also ask you to take actions or do specific things.
This is the first time that we've seen feat chains.
Yeah.
So when we look at the ones that have a prerequisite of an origin feat, we need to decide, was that origin feat good? And is this one going to make it better?
Then we give our shot from the hip rank. S tier means that it is a absolutely dominant feat, the kind that you'd probably build your character around and take right away at level 4. A tier is really excellent. It's really reliable. Also probably worth building your character around, but might be a little bit more subjective on whether you take it level 4 or level 8. B tier is a really solid pick. These are usually the feats that they'll not take right away at level 4. We're usually gonna wait till level 8 or 12, but you might want to take them sooner if you really like it.
Or they might be good for a very specific class or character.
C tier is where things get niche and really campaign dependent. And D tier is, no, I'm not spending one of my very restricted feat slots on this. This is not worth a feat.
Yeah. All right, so one of my favorite themes is the idea of the frost mage.
Yeah.
So we have a feat for them now, Cold Caster. It gives you a +1 to intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. So this is going to work with any of your spellcasters.
Okay.
Teaches you Ray of Frost.
Okay.
If you already know Ray of Frost, you get another wizard cantrip of your choice. And once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack roll that deals cold damage, such as Ray of Frost, that creature subtracts 1d4 from its next saving throw before the end of your next turn.
I like this.
That's a whole round.
Yeah. So this kind of turns Ray of Frost into Mind Sliver.
Yeah, a little bit.
Except Mind Sliver is a saving throw, whereas this is an attack roll. And in general, attack rolls are better than saving throws for how reliable they are to land, because monsters' saving throws and AC scale really differently.
Yeah.
So because now we don't have to rely on a monster failing a save to make it worse at failing the next save, we just have to hit it.
That's really interesting. So like instead of fail a save to make a save worse, it's hit them to make their next save harder. It's much more reliable to rely on attacks because, yeah, attacks are going to be easier to land.
Let's point out, this is also not limited to spells. Like, it's not just Ray of Frost. Anything that deals cold damage works. So I'm imagining this on a Way of the Four Elements monk who turns their fist attacks into cold damage and then now -1d4 on your stunning strike save.
Yes.
Yes.
This also works on the Winter Walker Ranger, but let's be real, that's not nearly as exciting as the Four Elements monk. And there's also some other spells out there. You could use Ice Knife. So there are some cool ways that you can use this, but the fact that it just snaps onto the cantrip that it's giving you a reliable, ready way to reduce their next saving throw is pretty awesome.
There's potentially a lot of synergy here, I think is the big point. So what we could also do is we could take this on a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Right? We could quicken the Ray of Frost and then cast our next spell.
Yeah, and then they have the minus
They
D4.
already have the D4. You could already do that with Mind Sliver, but it's just again, it comes back to that attack roll thing being more efficient than the saving throw.
I think that what we have here is I think this is a B tier.
Yeah.
It's a clear A tier if you are building for it. If you are the Four Elements monk and you're going to do Frost Fists, or you are planning to build a cool Frosty Mage, like this is a good pick.
You need some way for it to be more efficient than I hit you with Ray of Frost on my first turn and then hit you with the saving throw effect spell on the next turn.
Honestly, it surprisingly works best on a Four Elements monk.
I think it's great for there.
But otherwise, B.
Okay, so next up, we are going to come to Dragonscarred. So this is one of the first feats that we're looking at that has a origin feat prerequisite. So you have to have the Cult of the Dragon Initiate feat that we talked about on the Origin Feats episode. It's going to give you a +1 con or chat, resistance to 1 elemental damage type, which is unfortunate that it's locked in when you choose the feat. It's acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. And whenever you deal damage with an attack or a magic action, you get to do the Dragon's Terror effect from the Cult of the Dragon feat as a bonus action, which remember was a magic action to frighten someone.
Yeah, so if you did take Cult of the Dragon earlier, this lets you use that fear effect as a bonus action whenever you deal damage, which is actually a great upgrade. We talked in the Origin Feats about how useful fear was, and now it's much more available at 4th level if you take this.
Yeah, still, it's a heavy investment, but I like what happens when you get there because now you're scaring somebody after you damage them as a bonus action. It makes the action economy of that whole Cult of the Dragon move a lot better, but it does mean like you just have to deal damage to them. So it could be a spell, so you could do your damaging area spell and now they're frightened in that damaging area spell.
What I find really interesting though, and this is kind of a counter against it, the ability scores actually clash here. The original Cult of the Dragon scales off of Wisdom, and this one gives you Constitution or Charisma as a boost.
Boo.
For the fear, the DC is still based on Wisdom, but this feat doesn't help you with that.
So that is anti-synergy. It's like they weren't like, why?
Yeah.
Why? If this feat let you also boost Wisdom, or if all of these ones keyed off of
the same thing.
Yeah, or gave you the flexibility.
I mean, resistance to a damage type of your choice is solid. If you're a melee character or a war domain cleric, this could be thematic. I feel like this is a B tier because we're investing our origin and our 4th level, but fear is cool.
I think the anti-synergy of the ability score increases really holds this whole thing back.
It's so weird because like clearly we want to take the fear factor origin feat on a wisdom-based character who's going to have a decent saving throw.
But they want to be building up their wisdom sooner.
Rather than,
I mean, Constitution is fine.
They might want their con.
Everyone wants con, but it's like, I just wish that the first feat worked off int, wiz, or charisma, and that this feat gave you more choices for the abilities.
I'm still willing to give it a B.
I could see the argument for it being an A combo though. Like if you've got the.
Oh, I thought you were going to go C.
No, I could. The thing is that I can see, the bonus frightening someone as a bonus action. If you have a way to like really take advantage of the fact that you've now kind of doing that battlefield control thing, I think it could be really effective.
No, I don't disagree.
Right?
I just don't. I think that the 2-slot investment is a big ask, and I think B is saying that like you're basically defining your build.
It's the value question. Is this worth 2 feats to get? Yeah.
Next up, we have Enclave Magic, which builds off of Emerald Enclave Fledgling.
It's going to be a high ask.
So you get a +1 to Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma, advantage on influence checks with beasts, and you always have Beast Sense prepared. You can cast it once without a slot per long rest, and when you do, it doesn't require concentration.
So you can befriend animals and remote control through your animal friends. I like it. I just don't like spending a feat to have to do that.
No, now we've taken 2 average feats. Speak with Animals was already very fun, but do we need it? Like this is kind of giving you on-command familiars. You can just pick up squirrels and be like, you're my familiar now. And
you listen to me.
Yeah, that's cool. But is it worth a 2 feat investment?
No, it's not. And especially considering how weak the Emerald Enclave feat. I just think that taking those two together, like I just don't see what those two feats gave you that you needed above baseline druid or ranger.
This is pure flavor. This is the person at the table who's like, I love animals. I want all of the animal powers. I am a Beastmaster Ranger or a Druid or a Moon Druid.
But didn't you get enough from just being a like this is the thing.
You did, which is why I'm saying this is a C rank, but there's somebody out there who's like, this is like defining my character.
If you want to hyper optimize, okay, here's the argument here. If you're hyper optimizing your character around befriending and speaking to animals, this is S tier.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, if you want to make the best possible character at befriending animals, druid with these two feats. It's just that I think that the thing here is that the impact question of talking to animals is, and of being that good at talking to animals is questionable.
Okay, we're going to play a campaign where you're my DM, and all I do is I'm a druid who owns a farm.
Could we argue that this has a different effect in like a Humblewood campaign where everyone is an animal character?
Maybe. All I'm going to do, though, is walk around my farm and talk to animals. You're going to have to do different voices for each of my animals.
And if I don't, you'll be mad.
Yep.
Yep. I think this is like D tier.
I'll give it a C because I think, I don't even know. Maybe it is D. Maybe I'm just like,
no.
I love my animal friends. Hello, my animal friends.
Okay, fairy trickster. Maybe the fairies are better friends than animals. +1 to Dex or Charisma. When you take disengage action, difficult terrain doesn't slow you. And when you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can try to fluster it. Makes a wisdom saving throw. And if it fails, it has disadvantage on all saving throws. Not its next saving throw. All saving throws until the end of your turn. You can do this a number of times per day equal to your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so you hit them. They fail their save. And now everybody's spells, all of the effects, even your martial characters who might want to do some things that...
Stuns or maneuvers.
Yeah, all of it, disadvantage on all of it.
Yeah.
Everything.
And it's based on dexterity or charisma, which means that this is perfect for bards, sorcerers, or even melee rogues. Conceivably, we could combine this with Coldcaster on that same sorcerer.
Yeah?
Yep.
So, a sorcerer hits with a cantrip and then quickens hold person.
Yeah.
But now even more than that, it's, okay, you did your whole, like, here's my quicken. And then everybody else, though, gets to also benefit from this.
Yeah, or the rogue goes in, flusters the boss, and it sets up, like, the wizard.
Yeah.
Right? Which is actually great support in that regard.
The only real limiter is the target gets a wisdom save to resist it. So against high wisdom enemies, like dragons or mind flayers, it'll bounce off.
Yeah, and legendary monsters are just they're just going to legendary resistance this be like, no way. Still, it's a powerful effect. It's really good. It's limited use, but
it's more than once per long rest, and it's going to scale with you. This might be S tier.
I think it's A tier.
Okay.
I think the saving throw and the limited uses somewhere on someone's computer at Wizards of the Coast is the version of this feat that had no saving throw, or that was like once per short rest or something. That was the S tier version of this feat.
Yeah.
So this feat has been appropriately balanced, because if it was like disadvantage on all saving throws,
and if they make the save, you still used
it.
And the thing with proficiency bonus that's nice, though, is that it is going to, like, your uses of it scale with you.
Yeah. It's a high risk, high reward ability.
Yeah. Okay. With that in mind, I'll agree with an A.
Yeah. Okay. So now we come to genie magic.
We had fairies.
We had beasts. We had fairies. We had genies. Who's
the winner?
Who's the winner? Okay.
Ultimate battle.
Genie, +1 int wizard chat, and once per day, you get a little wish, and you can wish for any first level spell from the sorcerer list that is a casting time of 1 action. No slot required. What's cool about this feat is that it upcasts. So at level 11, it's cast as a 2nd level spell, and as level 17, it's a 3rd level spell. Don't misread that and think that you get a 2nd level spell or a 3rd level spell. It's a 1st level spell being upcast.
To 2nd or 3rd level. Okay, so you basically get one free spell a day, any first level sorcerer spell.
Yes, and you're not expending a slot to do it. Again, this got some clunky wording on this feat that might be confusing, but yeah.
Yeah, it sounds great until you realize that one extra first level spell at high levels doesn't actually move the needle very far. Okay, I was just playing a 20th level sorcerer, and I will admit that by level 15 or so, I had switched out all of my first level spells except shield, which actually doesn't work with this.
I think that the idea behind this is that it's like you don't know what first level spell you want to use. And so maybe today I need Charm Person, but tomorrow I want Mage Armor, or maybe I want Magic Missile at some point, and maybe another time you want Expeditious Retreat. I'm not even sure if these are all sorcerer spells off the top of my head, but like in theory, that flexibility is what you're getting with this spell. I
But
don't.
like as a sorcerer, do I have the spell?
You don't need to be a sorcerer to take this. Like
No.
you could be any character,
Okay, yeah, fair
right?
enough.
So, but like you can't grab shield with it. You
Or
can't.
absorb elements.
Yeah, so there's no tricky reaction spells.
This really okay, this is cool on paper, but
I
what's the mileage of a first level spell?
I just think that like I would have rather had one first level spell that I can always use all the time through Magic Initiate than this.
Yeah.
I,
You're
and
gaining one extra first level spell slot essentially.
and I think the other thing that I want to point out is that Fey Touched and Shadow Touched also exist, which again, that you have to choose a specific spell from specific schools of magic, but then you can use that potentially multiple times. And
Yeah.
I think that getting it's weird how getting one extra spell of your choice that you can use more often feels more valuable to me than any spell, but only once.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I feel like this actually, and like the way that it scales, you're at very high levels when you can upcast it to a third level spell, where it actually, you're probably better off not casting a first level spell.
yeah.
I think this might be C tier.
I think that there's probably a use case for it, but
Yeah.
I just think it's there's a lot of other feats I'd take ahead of this one.
All right. Well, moving on to Harper teamwork. You get +1 dex or charisma. When you help an ally's attack, the enemy also has disadvantage on its next saving throw before the start of your next turn.
Ooh,
And
okay.
if you succeed on a save to end the frightened or paralyzed condition, you can choose an ally within 30 feet and end that same condition for them.
So this is also in that Harper feat chain with the
Yeah.
origin feat,
So it's
right?
asking you to take 2 feats.
Yeah, and that's the one that lets us help at range. So it's very action costly,
Yeah.
but it's disadvantage on a save. Does that make taking the help action worth it?
I think the problem is still here that his help what you want to do with your action. You are now granting disadvantage, but do I want to help? And the second part of this, it's going to be amazing when the frightened and paralyzed condition come up. But I can't tell you how often that's going to be in your campaign. Could be once, twice in the whole campaign, could be 5 or 6
Mm.
times. But I don't think I've ever seen it be more than 5 or 6 times.
Here's the thing that is worth noting.
Hmm.
We just talked about the fairy feat, which was all saving throws, but a limited number of times per day, put around like that the enemy failing a saving throw. This one, you had to take the help action, which you already had the ability to do at range.
Yeah.
30 feet. Okay. So you're taking an action. Enemy's got a 30-foot distance from you. Enemy now has disadvantage on their next save. And there's no limit to the number of times per day you can do this. So like if we're going back to that if we have someone that can help as a bonus action, you are now throwing a disadvantage to enemy saving throws, nothing they can do about it as a bonus action.
That's only on the Inquisitive Rogue that isn't even in 2024. Yes,
Yeah.
some DMs are going to allow it.
But like, okay,
Are we basing this whole thing on the Inquisitive Rogue?
okay, so here's a question.
Yeah.
You're the sorcerer. Let's go to the fairy trickster feat.
Okay.
You're a sorcerer. You took both those Harper feats, right?
Okay.
You take the help action on your turn, pointing at an enemy within 30 feet of you. Next ally to attack them gets advantage, but it doesn't say that the ally has to be the one doing the disadvantage. That enemy just has disadvantage on its next save.
But you have to be helping an ally's attack.
Yes, so you took the help action to help an ally's attack, right? But
that triggers on their turn.
But that triggers on their turn. And so now you bonus action to quicken the spell that you want disadvantage on.
Okay, yeah. You're blowing through sorcery points.
But the previous combination with the fairy trickery that we talked about, also you're blowing through sorcery points to quicken the spell to get it off in the same turn. It's just that this one, the spell that you want to land, that you wanted to stick.
I mean, the fairy one's way better. It's all saving throws for a full round. This is one saving throw.
Yes. It is one saving throw, but it didn't require that enemy failing a save to stick, and it doesn't have limited uses. It still costs you an action, though. So, like, what I'm saying is that the comparison between these two feats is actually very interesting.
Right. The thing is that I'm putting a lot of weight in if most parties have something that requires a saving throw that they can do. So if you stick the fairy option,
your whole party's going off.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it's just
it's a more sure thing for you.
For the one
or for the next person.
So, but and this is the thing where you start to get strategic, and I think where the build starts to matter now, because now let's just imagine that spell that I'm going to quicken is Hold Monster.
Right.
And now the enemy has disadvantage on their saving throw against Hold Monster.
I mean, also if you're taking this and you're not a sorcerer, but the person who goes next in initiative is your spellcaster, then doing this as your action.
Yeah, it's allowing you to help your spellcasters. So, like, that does give it an interesting support potential.
Yeah. I don't think this is bad. I don't like how niche the second section is, but again, when it does come up, when you are frightened or paralyzed, you definitely don't want to be. And the ability to say no and help an ally is major impact in the few times it's going to happen.
I think this is the whole thing. It's like, when we talk about the help action, we criticize the help action for being like, well, it's so easy to get advantage on an attack roll in this game. But you know what's not easy to get in this game? Imposing disadvantage on a saving throw is hard. That is a rare effect that the game doesn't hand out a lot.
Yeah.
And now here we have an ability that is just like, you want to give someone disadvantage on their next saving throw? You got it as an action. Costing you 2 feats to get it, but you can now do it at range. It's got its own internal synergy. I'm convincing myself about this one.
And you're giving advantage to an ally.
On an attack.
Yeah.
Against that enemy, yeah.
And technically, these don't necessarily need to line up perfectly. So let's say that you're going, let's say you're not a spellcaster. Let's say you're like the rogue. I don't know. And then after you, a sorcerer is going, and then a fighter.
Yeah.
You help the fighter.
Yeah.
Cause disadvantage on the enemy, and you've actually just helped both the sorcerer and fighter do their turns.
Yes.
Okay.
It costs you your action.
It is also costing you the previous feat.
Yes.
That is
costing you your action and 2 feats.
And the previous feat we weren't a huge fan of.
But here's the question. Is 2 feats plus 1 character's action for at will saving throw debuffing worth it?
And also at the same time buffing.
And still giving it the advantage. I'm looking at the advantage as incidental.
I want to take that into account, that you're doing both. You're giving advantage and you're causing disadvantage. Those two things are happening. Because I think it's important to say that, like, you're doing both of those things.
I also do want to point out that when you use the help action to help an ally, it's just the next ally to attack them. You don't have to say, I'm helping the fighter, I'm helping the rogue. Okay. You're just helping whoever's attacking them next. Right? And the Harper agent thing let us do it at 30-foot range. I think that this is actually really strong now. And I think it changes the value of that Harper agent origin feat a lot.
I still feel like this is B. And my reasoning is that it's a 2 feat investment. Let's say that I am a wizard, not a sorcerer, because we talked about the quicken option for sorcerers. If I'm any other spellcaster, my turn could have been spent casting a very defining spell. or taking the help action. If I'm a high-level fighter, do I get my 2 to 3 attacks in, or do I help?
Yeah.
You're weighing the cost of an action. You're most of your turn now. Is it worth it to help your next ally and offer a saving throw debuff? Or was there something else you could do with your turn that would have been more impactful? I still think that there's a lot of cost here.
There is, you're not wrong. And I think that that's the essence of this conversation. It's like that question of like, would you rather spend $100 on like a 16-ounce like AAA steak, or that same amount of money on a 3-ounce Wagyu at a restaurant, right? Like, it's the cost versus what you're getting, and it's a real, because saving throw debuff, because like,
I
okay,
can't eat a 16-ounce steak.
I mean, I can, but okay, how about that Moonbard
Yeah.
with this feat combo, right? That Moonbard that is teleporting and invisible with its bonus action, handing out Bardic Inspiration, and then using its action, because that's the, and then now the spellcasters in the party.
I'm not so, like, I think it's B because there are certain builds and there are certain campaigns where I think this is really, really powerful. But I don't think it's for everybody. I think it's a high investment, and there are a lot of characters that can use their turn to end a combat encounter quicker than using the help action.
Yeah, I don't think that you're wrong in giving it a B, because I think that you are being, in this case, I think that you are being a little bit more conservative in your valuing of it. That I'm usually the one that's like, is this worth it? And like, I hear disadvantage on, like, I think for me, there's something about the words disadvantage, give an enemy disadvantage on saving throws, that I just love.
Okay,
So I'm going to acknowledge my bias.
but what if this round you can either give one creature disadvantage on a saving throw or cast Hypnotic Patter? You can't do both because you are the only person in the party who has Hypnotic Patter, and you are not a sorcerer with Quicken Spell.
In that case, it's not worth it.
And I think that there's a lot of cases where
Right.
you have to weigh what is your turn being used for.
But if we're talking about party optimization, right? Like, if
that depends on the party.
and that's now getting more into the B tier of it, right?
Yeah.
Of like, because like, I could see somebody being like, yeah, I'm gonna go full support on my character. I'm gonna like optimize.
And that's the person that this is gonna like. This is a good B.
Yeah.
It's not like it's B. It's like if you're the character who's going to use this, it's going to be great. But it's not for everybody. You can give it an A. We're allowed to disagree.
I think that there's just something about this that like feels like it could be S tier with the right build.
With the right build, huh? Wait, B tier? You mean S tier with the right build? What?
Yeah.
Did you just prove my point? Maybe.
I might have. Game, set, and match. I'm really curious to hear people's thoughts on whether this is worth it.
Yeah.
Lordly Resolve. So this is another one. You got to have the origin feat, the Lord's Alliance Agent. You get +1 strength or charisma. And as a bonus action, you let up to 3 allies within 60 feet end the prone condition and stand up immediately. And then for 1 minute, they can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed.
Ending prone is good as a bonus action. How often are you prone? I don't know. Minute of immunity to charm and fear is good support. How often is charm and fear happening?
Well, you get to use this once per long rest to basically shut down the one instance of charm and fear you ran into that day.
Okay, so you have a once a day shutdown for actually quite a few different conditions that could be bad. But once again, we run into that problem of it's once per day versus several feats that give you options that you're using every turn, every round, every combat encounter. So is this worth a feat choice?
The prerequisite feat was the one that gave you advantage when an enemy hit one of your allies and let you give out inspiration on crits.
Right.
I think this is pretty niche.
Yeah, I don't think this chain is worth it. I mean,
yeah.
Is it C or is it D? It's hard to justify 2 feats.
The thing is that, like, once again, the gold standard for shutting down charm and fear are paladin auras.
Yeah.
Right? And so and we've seen a lot of effects recently that are like helping the party out against charm and fear. And so I guess if you're really worried about them, but it comes down to one of those things of like
I'll give it a C.
yeah.
I'll give it a C. Okay, best feat in the game. Mythal Touched. You get +1 to a mental stat, any of them. And when a spell attack hits you, or you fail a save against a spell, you can use your reaction to roll on the Mythal Touched magic table for a random magical effect.
Okay, this table is chaos. So you might just explode on a 1 or 2. You might form a telepathic link with whoever cast the spell on you, might suddenly reverse gravity on yourself as per the reverse
and
gravity
everybody within around
so which would mean that you just shoot up into the air and just start bobbing around. That's actually terrible for you. Or you might stun yourself in the caster. The beneficial things happen only if you roll, so you potentially can stun the caster if they fail to save, but you also have a chance to stun yourself. You can set everything around them on fire that is non-attended. You can get +2 AC against whatever the spell was. Or on a nat 20, you negate the spell.
So you have a nat 20 possibility of making a counterspell.
Yes, whereas everything else on this is like
insane.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a wild magic table.
I mean, it's a stupid wild magic table. You literally have a very good chance that you're making things way worse for yourself or the entire table.
What? What's the logic here?
Okay.
I just got okay. So like, here's the thing. I just got hit or failed to save against a spell, and I just spent my reaction. I'm hoping to maybe not have that terrible spell do whatever that terrible spell was going to do to me, and instead, I'm now bobbing up in the air 60 feet.
There are 2 wolves inside of me. One wolf says this is the greatest feat, and I want to do a one-shot where I take this. I want to reverse gravity my whole party. This is chaos. It's silly. It's stupid. I can't stop laughing and looking at this feat. The second wolf knows that this is a D tier and says, "What's going on here? Why do you want the chance of stunning yourself, reversing gravity, just blowing yourself up?" Or I mean, the telepathic link is hilarious. You get shot and you're like, "Hey man, why'd you do that?" And like, what? Great feat. I don't know. I'm conflicted. It's either S tier or D tier. It's D tier.
This is the S tier troll your party?
Yeah. You know, I'm bringing this to the next one shot I play in. I'm bringing this feat, I'm packing it, reverse gravity on everybody, just because I get hit with a cantrip and we all go flying into the air.
Mechanically, this feat has almost no redeeming qualities.
No, like, just cast counterspell, man.
For a 1 in 20 chance of negating the spell.
Like maybe somebody out there knows the secret that we don't. Why are you taking this? Other than the fact that you're like me and you just can't stop laughing at the chaos that you're going to cause at the table. Then it's awesome.
Yeah.
D tier.
All right. Order's Resilience. You got to have Tyro the Gauntlet, which was not a good feat. You get +1 strength, wisdom, or charisma. You can stand up from prone with only 5 feet of movement. There's other feats that do this too, I think. And if you're within 5 feet of an ally, you both have advantage on strength saves.
Okay. Both of those seem rarely relevant. Advantage on strength saves. That's only coming up.
Knocked prone,
grapples, shoves.
But you got to be beside somebody. It's the clumping up thing, and the feat was also letting the prerequisite feat was letting you negate forced movement when you're beside each other.
Nope.
No.
D tier.
No.
Not even a fun D tier.
Yeah, we've got.
I'd rather have Mythal's.
Yeah, we've got to take a D tier or like a pretty bad origin feat to take a pretty bad feat. I think that the bad plus bad is even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Purple dragons though. Purple dragon commandant. So you need the Purple Dragon Rook feat.
Which was the worst musician.
Yeah, the worst musician,
Yeah.
but I think it still had a place. Monty doesn't. You get a +1 strength or dexterity. You can use a bonus action to give an ally within 30 feet 2d6 plus your mod in temporary hit points, the mod being linked to whatever you chose to upgrade. And while bloodied, you have advantage on attack rolls.
Okay, so until the well-bloodied you have advantage on attack rolls, I was like, I'm just taking musician and inspiring leader.
Okay, yeah.
And then bloody advantage on all attack rolls while bloodied is spicy. It's
It's nice.
yeah, it's cool.
This does encourage you to stay bloodied. I mean, it might. I just think that you're going to be bloodied a lot anyway. But maybe you want to stay bloodied. Fighter or paladin, though, they're on the front lines. They're going to be bloodied a lot. A fighter might like having, at high levels when we're making 3 or 4 attacks, having advantage on all of them when we're bloodied is kind of cool. But I don't know if it's worth the two feats.
And the temporary hit points, it's 2d6 plus proficiency to an ally as a bonus action a number of times per day equal to your proficiency bonus. Whereas Inspiring Leader is handing out way more temporary hit points than that to like multiple people every time you're short resting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the reason to take this feat is the bloodied, the bloodied advantage part of it, and
But you have to invest in the origin feat and this just for that, which is a big ask. All of these feat chains
are big ass.
are big asks. So it's got to be the origin feat needs to be cool, and the level 4 feat needs to be adding to that in a meaningful way.
And I just don't feel like it.
This
doesn't justify the cost. Like that's the whole point that we made at the start of the video. It's like, is it justified for the cost? And I don't think it is.
Like the origin feat already wasn't our favorite, and now it's asking you to take something that has a cool feature.
Yeah.
But everything else here is iffy.
I could see there being a build around being bloodied all the time.
Is it a B tier enough of? Are there enough options here? So I don't think this is the worst feat chain. There's worse ones out there.
I think it's still ultimately a C unless I'm going to be presented with a really strong case to build around bloodied advantage. I think it's C tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Now we got Spellfire Adept. You got to have the Spellfire Spark feat or the Spellcasting or Pack Magic features. So you don't need to do the chain in this case.
I immediately think more of these chain options should have been open to being like, could be a chain.
+1 to any mental stat. And when you cast a spell that does radiant damage, you can expend your up to 2 hit dice and add that to the damage roll, and your radiant damage attacks ignore resistance.
Okay, so what's important to note here, you're burning your own life force to empower your radiant spells. You get to add the 2 dice to a single damage roll.
Yes.
But an AoE attack,
which would then be everything, right?
Is a single damage roll.
Yes, because so you could use this to boost up Moonbeam. You could use this to boost up Sacred Flame, Guiding Bolt. One Spirit Guardians doesn't play as well with this because of its timing. Flame Strike. You could use this on Sunbeam or Sunburst. All potential options. You could use this on True Strike. It's just that the single target return is not as good as the AoE return.
No, I think that the secret value of this option is the AoE. I mean, obviously, if we link it to the Spellfire origin feat, then we're getting the radiant cantrip that this would work with.
I don't think you need to take the Spellfire origin feat to get the most out of this.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it does tell you this is a progression from that, and it does work.
Yeah.
But I think this works better on a cleric that has like a bunch of radiant AoE. I think that's where this is shining. And I think that when we look at the potential of using radiant AoE, burning through 2 dice, if you roll your
snake eyes.
Well, yeah. But if you roll decent, if you roll like average even, on a single target, it's not really going to feel like much at high levels. But if you're using it on an AoE, that 2 extra dice rolls could equate to an actual overall value of like doing 20 to 30 extra damage.
Well, I mean, if you're a cleric, you're rolling d8s, right?
Yeah.
So the 2d8 is 9 damage.
So 9 damage times the amount of targets you hit.
If you're a wizard or a sorcerer and you're squishy, or you're like a warlock, it's 2d6. No, warlock is 2d would be d8s, but a wizard or a sorcerer would be d6s, which is 7 extra damage.
Okay. Yeah.
Like depending on the circumstances, what are your hit dice doing?
I mean, short rests.
This is a pretty unique effect. We haven't seen anything like this before in 2024.
I also think untapped resource of using hit dice as a pool is
right?
cool.
Because if you are in that circumstance where your characters don't take a lot of short rests or only take one, like this is one of those feats where like you're a once per day battle situation, the party now just had that untapped resource of hit dice that they were never going to use anyways, and you're just turning that into damage. Right? You're converting hit dice into damage, which is a unique mechanic. And the fact that it gets better AoE scaling, but it's still fine single target.
Well, the fact is that, again, depending on how important my hit dice are, which for me, I would blow through 2 of these on a lot of my spells. Even if I'm just using like Guiding Bolt or my Sacred Flame cantrip, might be worth just, dishing out.
Tossing out the extra damage.
Yeah.
I think I can give this one an A.
I think I can too. It's not like a, oh my gosh, this is A, but it's more like I think this is A.
Yeah.
Street Justice. We love Street Justice. You got a +1 to strength or dexterity. Allies have advantage on attacks against creatures grappled by you. And when you bind someone with rope, chains, or manacles, the DC to escape goes up by your proficiency bonus.
Kinky.
Also, hostile attitude doesn't impose disadvantage on intimidation checks.
This is cool.
Coolish.
I think I usually forget that hostile enemies, the whole intimidation has disadvantage against hostile.
We don't
honestly forget that was a rule.
It's for grapplers.
Yeah.
So your grapply monk or your grapply barbarian maybe can tie them up, can hog tie them, and now the party has advantage on all their attacks against them. So if you're playing a grapple build, sure. If you're not,
is this the third part of the Tavern Brawler Grappler?
Maybe.
Feat change?
In which case it's like B tier for that build.
Yes.
And I don't think it's really worth it if you're not like, it's B. Yeah.
Last one, Zhentarim Tactics. So this one you need to take the Zhentarim Ruffian feat, which if you recall, lets us roll damage twice on opportunity attacks and spend heroic inspiration to basically give a bunch of our allies advantage on initiative. This one gives you +1 dex or charisma, and when a creature within 5 feet of you hits you, you can make an opportunity attack against them immediately. And when you finish a long rest, you can pick one of your proficient skills and just have expertise in that skill.
Okay, so what's awesome about this is we are already getting to roll twice on our damage for opportunity attacks, and now we get to do that more. Offense, temporary expertise that you can kind of switch around.
Yeah, this is like a weird marriage of skill expert and sentinel.
Yeah. I think that this chain actually is working for me a little bit.
I do too. I think that there's a build here. I think there's something to be built around.
You hit me, I hit you back harder, and I'm an expert.
Well, and it is going to key off of a bunch of weird opportunity attack things when you're hit.
Yeah.
Okay. So just imagine having this and Warcaster. Because you get hit. It's like, oh, so you hit me? Now I'm going to disintegrate you.
And I get to roll the damage twice?
In that case, you didn't actually make an opportunity attack anymore. You replaced things twice, so you wouldn't roll the damage twice on disintegrate. But I don't know. I think that this is potentially pretty solid, and it also makes me think of the Scion of the Three Rogue, who was giving us like something like a way to attack with our reaction to get double sneak attacks. So if you want to play a rogue that's getting a way to attack with their reaction, and you want to go into melee, and you don't mind taking a few licks in the process, this is a pretty direct way as a rogue to start sneak attacking way more.
Yeah.
It's just that the cost of it is going to be
2 feats.
your 2 feats and the fact that you're taking it on the chin.
Yeah.
Because you're blowing your reaction to make the opportunity attack, so you're not uncanny dodging.
I still think this is an A tier.
I actually think that I think this is probably much better on a fighter or a paladin or someone who doesn't mind taking the hit anyways.
Yeah.
On a barbarian, actually.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
They love taking hits.
Yeah. I think that there's enough characters that don't mind getting the hit and then dishing it back out in return that this feat chain feels worth it.
Yeah. A.
So that's the general feats from Heroes of Faerun.
I think that there's a noticeable jump in power compared to the origin feats. A few of these could slot into pretty decent builds. I think like Coldcaster, Fairy Trickster, Spellfire Adept, and the Zhentarim tactics especially work, which we're seeing the first feat chains. Some of them worked really well. Some of them I don't think did.
I want to see more feat chains.
Yeah.
I liked feat chains. They're just really costly. And I think that in the 2024 5th edition rules, previous editions of D&D, like 4th edition and 3rd edition, where feat chains also existed, characters got a lot more feats, but also there were a lot more feat chains that were busy work. Like, there was a lot more feat chains where, like, you had to take basically a bad feat or, like, a feat that did very little to get the juicy feat.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so I don't mind a 2 feat chain, especially origin feat to general feat. That feels cool. I wouldn't mind seeing another feat chain or 2 crop up somewhere.
I mean, we do have 3 tiers. What we could see is a feat chain that also has an epic boon, but I think we are going to be looking at the epic boons next. And I do think that some of them work with some of the feat chains without saying they're linked to them. But there is a way that you do an origin feat, a general feat, and an epic boon feat that scales up.
Yeah.
And that could be a cool build option that we could explore.
I really want to know if people think that the Harper feat chain is worth it.
Yeah, that one's, I mean, we're kind of throwing out our rankings here, but I'm pretty open to hearing the discussion in the comments. There's a lot in here that we gave rankings, but I'm like, what is the potential here? Like some stuff feels like there might be potential beyond what I'm seeing, or it might be worse than what I'm thinking it is. So tell us your thoughts, and let's open up a chat about, are these feat chains cool? Let's talk about it in the comments.
The videos that we create on our channel are made possible thanks to the incredible generosity of our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy the work that we do here on YouTube, please consider becoming a patron of the show. We got lots of really cool tier benefits like early access to our videos and joining in with our Eldritch Experiments, a monthly packet where we release new rules content that we're working on for the 2024 rules that you can try out in your game.
Maybe we'll make some feat chains.
Yeah.
And if you want to see us using feats, then check out our actual Playing the Worlds of Drakkenheim. All the episodes now available right up over here.
And we got plenty of other tier ranking content for D&D that you can check out right up over here.
Please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and ring that bell so that you never miss an episode.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time
in the dungeon.